Jimmy. I don't know how you can forget. He kept referring to himself in the third person. Jimmy's under the boards. Jimmy's in the open. Jimmy makes the shot. I got one question for you. These are Jimmy's training shoes.
The Clodhopper. Welcome to the pilot episode of the Clodhopper podcast. I'm Jimmy Heslop. I am your host. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Sun's shining. Doing all right. Feeling okay. Pretty decent. Yeah, this is crazy. This is weird. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's wondering what the hell the name is or where I came up with it. Yeah, I wanted to come up with something that pertained to me in particular, something funny, something from my childhood. I don't know if anybody else is aware, because I wasn't until most recently, what a clodhopper actually is. I thought it was just a funny ass term that my dad came up with when I was little, because he had a tendency to do that. He would come up with these funny sort of phrases or terminology for certain things, and so I always thought a clodhopper was just something he made up. But little did I know that a clodhopper is just a big, heavy ass shoe. And so the funny thing about that is when I was little, I had this pair of shoes that I don't even know what the hell you would refer to them as. They were kind of like a hybrid. They were like a hybrid boot shoe sort of thing. I don't know. They had like Velcro straps on them, but they were tready as hell. Some big ass tread on them. And they were probably like 2 to 3 sizes too big. I'm fairly certain my mom got them at like Goodwill or something. So they were like my favorite shoes, and I would just stomp around in those things, step on people's feet. But I always remember like if I had anything clumsy or anything I did in those things that would piss my dad or my older sister off, they would tell me to get the hell out of here with those clodhoppers on. And so I always just thought it was something they made up. But it turns out it wasn't a made up phrase. Turns out it was actually a real dictionary definition. It's a heavy ass shoe. And it also, I think it can mean that it's just like you're clumsy or awkward or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the story behind how I came up with the name for this, because I wanted something unique that pertained to me and my childhood. So that's where it came up. That's how I came up with it. Thought it was kind of funny. So that's the story behind that. But yeah, so this podcast going forward is going to be kind of a mixed bag. I'm hoping to have a lot of funny things on here, but also some serious topics. You know, in the last couple of years, I feel like I've had some really down times, and I've had some crazy highs. I've had one of the best years of my life sandwiched in between some pretty awful years, some pretty awful times. So yeah, and the last couple of years I've learned a lot about myself. I've begun to take mental health very seriously. I also have done a lot of work on myself in a mental capacity. So I'm hoping to bring a lot of that into this podcast, but like I said, I want to do a lot of fun stuff too. Eventually, what I would like to do is have guests, because I feel like I know a lot of valuable people in my life. One of my buddies is a financial advisor, so I think it'd be cool to bring him on, share some advice. And a couple of people I know are have started their own businesses from scratch. I also know people who've taken over businesses and are running those very successfully. Both my sisters are in the healthcare field, so there's a lot of people I know that have a lot of valuable advice, and so I'm hoping to bring people like that on. Excuse me, mouse dry. And be able to have some valuable and interesting chats with people like that. And then who knows, eventually I can keep growing this thing, and we'll see where it takes me. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I don't really have a niche picked out, and I don't want to. I kind of want this just to be sort of a free-flowing type of podcast where, you know, like I mentioned previously, just a mixed bag sort of thing. So that's where it'll be. I apologize if I sound awful. I've had a cold for like the last week and a half that I've been battling. It hasn't been great. Actually, this cold is probably worse than I had COVID a couple months back. And with COVID, the worst I had was like a dull headache and just felt tired, but I didn't really have any other symptoms. I didn't have any of the respiratory stuff or fever, none of that. But this cold, man, has whooped my ass lately. So apologies if I sound somewhat congested or just doesn't sound great. So, but yeah, it's been kind of crazy lately. Just trying to get this whole thing figured out. It's definitely a unique experience, and I hope to keep working on it and improving every time I put something out. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, we got a busy, interesting couple weeks coming up. Next weekend, my Kansas City Chiefs play in the Super Bowl, and hopefully they can pull that out. And then the following couple weeks, my son turns 10, which is just absolutely mind blowing. Like I can't believe he's gonna be 10. That's insane to me. He's a big Chiefs fan too, so hopefully they can pull that out for him, and it'll be a nice little pre-birthday gift. But yeah, 10. That's crazy to me. It's like when you're younger, I remember my parents all the time saying stuff like, you know, like, just wait till you get older and time will fly and things like that, and you just kind of blow it off, shrug it off because you don't believe it, but it's absolutely true. Like, I can't believe how fast time goes once you have kids. It just proves that time is so fleeting, and that's one of the things that I hope to be better at, or one of my goals is just to live in the moments more and take in the moments and appreciate them for what they are when they're here, because I don't want to look back and regret that I didn't take time to cherish the moments when I was in them. So that's one thing I want to be better at, because I don't feel like I do that well enough. So that's a goal of mine. But yeah, I don't know, I'm going a little stir crazy. I know we've been sort of babied here in Iowa with the winter so far. It hasn't been that bad, but man, I'm so over it. I'm feeling very closed in right now. I'm ready for some sun and nice weather, be able to get outside and do some activities and be a little more physical and all of that, because I'm feeling a little closed in and I need to get out. But only plus side is that this cold weather allows me to focus on working on this podcast stuff a little bit. So that's about the only bonus of it that I see at the moment. Other than that, yeah, I'm ready for it to be over. So, but anyway, I figured I'd keep this one short and sweet. And hopefully it's something that you guys will tune in the future, follow along. And hopefully I can get some buddies on here too, because I think we could have some funny ass stories to share and entertain you guys a little bit more. So, yeah, follow along. Hopefully you'll continue to do so. And I know this is probably a little rough sounding to start, but hopefully the more experience I get, I can clean it up and make it a little more streamlined and more enjoyable for you to listen to. So, yeah, follow along. If you have any advice, I will gladly take it. Things you'd like to hear, things you don't like to hear. I'm pretty in the middle as far as things are concerned. So you don't really have to worry about like, let's just say you don't have to worry about political stuff. Yeah, you will never hear me go there. I'm so in the middle. It's kind of scary. Like I don't put too much weight in that kind of stuff. So there's that, and then I want to be pretty authentic to myself. So just a little warning. I don't get too vulgar, but I also I'm human, so swear words are part of my vocabulary. So if you're completely opposed to that, then you might not want to listen. Like I said, I don't go too crazy with it, but shit slips. It just does. So anyway, thanks for taking a listen this time around, and I hope that you will tune in the future. So hope everyone's doing well. Take care, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.